Thank you, Kritika, and good afternoon, everyone. Thanks so much for having me here today. Let's take a look at the content I brought, and I just want to start with a great big welcome to the new normal. Life as we know it has changed, and retail as we know it is at an inflection point. Consumer shopping behaviors are changing every day, and this trend is going to continue through the ups and downs of this pandemic, but also beyond. And you can imagine the stress this puts on a business like ours. Let's take a look at the next slide so I can tell you a little more about that. Target is a Fortune 500 retailer with a presence in over 1,800 stores in the US and also on Target.com. Beginning in about February, we started to see dramatically different and shifting patterns. We suddenly had an enormous surge of online shoppers, and there was extremely high demand for certain types of products, essentials and groceries, and an almost total drop off in other product categories like style businesses. The regulatory environment was complicated. Rules were changing daily and were established at every level of government. Guest expectations and concerns shifted quickly also. The elements of delivering a shopping experience that both met regulations, was safe for our guests and team members, and upheld our brand were different every day, and sometimes store by store. And as a few weeks went by and consumers were spending time at home, there was another equally fast and dramatic change. Guests began stocking up on home goods, home improvement products, toys, games, and art supplies for their kids at home. Contactless fulfillment became heavily preferred. Families were celebrating holidays like Easter and Mother's Day and birthdays and graduations differently. Social opportunity moved all outdoors, creating a surge in demand for yard equipment, bicycles, and other outdoor toys. And on and on. Even now, as we begin to see plans for school unfolding, there are more new patterns ahead. And this wasn't something anyone saw coming. Even with robust business continuity plans, we didn't have anything that helped us predict this. But what we did have was some pretty fundamental tools in our toolbox: a durable strategy anchored in a strong and value driven purpose, smart, flexible, and empowered teams, and a culture that supports taking the right risks and learning as we go. And these things, they all came together. They allowed us to respond quickly and with nimbleness and to deliver excellent results. And to put things in perspective, if you look at the next slide, there are just a couple of examples of how our business scaled in the first quarter. Our digital sales were up 141%. Same day services, which includes a variety of ways for our guests to shop, like picking their orders up in store or driving up, or even using our home delivery service through Shipt, those went up 278% in the first quarter. So on the next slide, how did we deliver this kind of scale in this really unique time? And what was so special about our strategy, our team, and our culture? Let's start with our durable strategy on the next slide. 3 years ago, we laid out a strategy that was anchored on our value-driven purpose, and that is to help families discover joy of everyday life. And at Target, we live this purpose every day. We did this by enabling guests to shop where and how they wanted, and by building a broad suite of fulfillment options that I mentioned earlier, including shipping to your home, picking up in store, driving up, or same-day delivery. And before the pandemic, these services created joy for our guests through convenience and simplicity. And now, during the pandemic, we recognize that joy for our guests was now fulfilled through these services by creating a sense of safety and relief that guests could get what they need with low contact. And so we doubled down. We expanded all of our same-day fulfillment options to include grocery and fresh food, an initiative that previously had a multi-year timeline, but was executed across the chain in about 3 months. Having the right strategy and a purpose that people can believe in is a critical start. And then you need the people to deliver on that strategic promise. Having smart, Flexible and empowered teams is the second key success factor I want to highlight on the next slide. Well before the pandemic, Target has consistently been committed to investing in our team and building the best team in retail. And that means we hire talented and diverse team of top talent, ensuring we can create an opportunity for every single team member to fully leverage their strengths, and then intentionally fostering collaboration and speed. From a technology lens, this means that we hire a team that represents the communities we work in, aiming and achieving higher representation of women and other underrepresented populations than the market's qualified applicant pool. And since the pandemic began and the working experience changed so dramatically, we've gotten to see even more clearly the value of this diverse workforce. The skills that we needed to support our teams working remotely and to maintain engagement and collaboration and to sustain reliability and resilience in an incredibly stressful time, and to be incredibly diligent and focused on consistency so we didn't disrupt our stores when they were in a high stress time. To do all of those things, you need different skills and different strengths to do them well, but you need them all at the same time. If there is one thing that I am just most proud of during the start of this year, the thing that I know drove all of the results that I talked about earlier, it's our team. It's who they are as individuals and how they work together as a team. And it's one of the most spectacular things I've witnessed in my career. And it wasn't created by chance. By hiring the right team, and beyond hiring the right team, it also means focusing on infrastructure and architecture so that we can build world-class platforms and operate them at scale and layer on applications with a strong adherence to this clean and simple architecture. Those fundamentals seem simple, but the reality is they require an intense discipline and clarity and focus. And they are what enables us to build and scale technology fast. A great example of this is when government regulations started to require that we meter the number of guests that we had in stores. This was a new capability, something we'd never done before. And in a matter of days, our teams were able to leverage technology components that we already had: cameras in store, vision computing platforms, in-store mobile applications, and other foundational platforms and services, and quickly integrate them and extend them to devise a flexible solution that met the differing requirements across the chain. And this happened in a matter of days. There are actually many examples of this. In the last 6 months, we've seen more business features go from never thought of before to needed right now to delivered than I have ever seen before. From item purchasing restrictions to protect our limited stock, or reducing contact by eliminating pin entry when it wasn't needed, or changing our clearance logic to reduce the amount of times we had to change price tags for stressed stores. Many, many more things. The pace of inception to chain-wide rollout has gone from months to weeks to days in many cases. And all of this was on top of scaling our systems to meet as much as 300% growth for some days and some activities with zero significant performance or service interruptions. And with equal or greater speed, the same team has responded to meet the needs of our own teammates in order to enable us to remain productive no matter the circumstance. By rolling out new collaboration tools worldwide in less than a week and equipping team members around the globe with equipment to shift to completely working from home in a matter of days. It's truly been nothing short of incredible. And while our team is skilled and we've done our job in creating strong foundational architecture and platforms, what really makes this happen is empowerment. Because our purpose is so clear and so fulfilling for each one of our team members, in times like these, we can rely on our team members to react quickly and independently and to ruthlessly prioritize and focus on all of the right things. This means we, the leaders, we don't need to get in their way. We just simply clear a path for them to do incredible work. When every team member is clear in their mission to make Target the easiest, most convenient, and safest place to shop, then even when the earth moves, the North Star stays the same. So, with a clear purpose and a strong team, on the next slide, you'll see the third element of success that I want to highlight. And this is Target's intentional culture of learning and innovation. One of the things I love most about our purpose is that it is resonant and fulfilling to every single team member at Target, and that it also applies to and for our team members at Target. We want our team members to discover joy in everyday life too. And we do this by supporting a cultural cornerstone of learning and innovation. In fact, innovation and learning are at the heart of everything that we do. Even in the face of a pandemic, with team members distributed around the globe and working from home, we continue to create learning and innovation moments for our team. Just last week, we held our second virtual demo day during the pandemic, where technology teams around the world showcased the work of their teams for other engineers and for the company's C-suite. This event offers every engineer a chance to learn from other engineers across the company. And the excellent work of the team, and as importantly, the enthusiasm of our executive leaders, creates a smooth runway for us to accelerate this work into production and rollout. Back in July, we took our long history of successful hackathons and we made it global. With over 100 self-organized helping them, over 70 solutions were advanced to a live demonstration in just about 48 hours. The 7 winning teams and several others have ideas that we will carry forward into our existing technology products or create new investments. Some of these ideas are so clever and well matched for Target and for this time that they'll be in store in operation yet this year. This year, we've also made our Team Member Incubator program global. This is a program that gives opportunities for team members to be entrepreneurs and develop their ideas at scale. Team members are nominated to devote 8 to 12 weeks to experiment with new ideas and solutions and work with them as part of a cross-functional team within a supportive environment. We're launching our second edition of the Team Member Incubator next week, and some of the candidates for incubation came out of our recent global hack. At Target, we believe in the value of learning and innovation so much that we take it well beyond our walls. We have a large intern and outreach programs in all of our technology locations that extend down into college, secondary, and even primary students, where we're building the talent for tomorrow. And by working with startups and emerging technology teams through the Target Accelerator program, we share our resources and knowledge to give others a leg up in shaping the future of retail technology. And finally, even as we see a burst of new work and productivity pressure, as we all transition to new ways of working, we remain committed to supporting every one of our technology team members in 50 days of learning. Whether that's training, self-driven development, on-the-job experiences, or something else, we know that when our team is learning, our team is on top of their game and will stay that way through this pandemic and into the next challenge. Our India teams have been a huge part of bringing our strategy and all the success factors that I've highlighted to life. Our team in India works with our Minneapolis colleagues on some of Target's most important strategies. Everything from store remodels to pricing strategy and execution, enabling our digital business, computer-generated imagery, AI, and much more. Our team in India leads some of our efforts around AI, machine learning, in-house engineering, and data science strategies. And our India team also builds the technology infrastructure that enables new ways for our guests to shop. Bangalore's influence on Target's business isn't just limited to technology either. Our team includes marketers, architects, designers, writers, videographers, and experts in supply chain, HR, finance, and many other areas. Nearly every aspect of Target's business is represented here. And a strong connection to HQ in Minneapolis means that ideas and results flow seamlessly. All of this means that our India operation is not a separate entity from Target. We are not Target India, but rather we're a natural extension without artificial barriers or boundaries. And it's why we're proud to call ourselves Target in India. In conclusion, on the next and final slide, retail in the US has been tough this year. Many retailers are struggling, and not all of them will make it beyond this pandemic. Crises are known to bring out the best and the worst in people and in organizations. And in Target's case, I truly believe the best of what we are made of and what has made us successful historically is also what's created success and kept us in the winners column during this unprecedented time. We have an intentional and unwavering focus on our value-driven purpose. We empower extremely talented and diverse teams to realize that purpose every day. And we support them by creating a culture of learning and innovation. And we're not out of this pandemic yet, and the road ahead will no doubt hold some additional surprises. But at Target, we feel ready to face them. Thank you, and back to you, Kritika.
Thank you, Rachel. We do have a couple of questions, and one of the things that the audience is asking us is, given this whole pandemic time, and what was that, if you have to pinpoint towards one tech innovation that changed business and business outlook for you, what would that one thing be?
Well, as I mentioned, I think there were some pretty foundational things that we did that enabled us to innovate in a lot of different ways and very rapidly for our guests. But I think some of the things that have been most meaningful for our guests and for our team members is the way that we've been able to quickly respond, to leverage the technology we have and extend or shape it to really emphasize safety for our guests, whether that is reducing the amount of contacts on the guest payment devices or self-checkout, or enabling team members and guests to create service through their own personal mobile devices. I really think Target has always aimed to be the most convenient and easiest place to shop. And now we are the most convenient, easiest, and safest place to shop.
Yeah, that's very interesting to learn. And thank you so much for sharing. And is there any last comments that you would like to share with the audience with us today?
Well, I think that one of the things that we've seen, that as I've mentioned, that we've seen is that it's important to know what you're good at and to be good at that in normal times and in times of crises. When it really think about the things that I've talked about today, having a solid strategy, a clear and easily connected purpose, having the right team that you then empower to be their best, creating a culture that matches your values and supporting that actively for your team members, those are fundamentals. And I think if you're really focusing on those fundamentals leading up to crises, you'll be in a better position to be able to take on whatever is thrown at you as a business and as an individual.
Sure. Thank you, Rachel. I think that was wonderful. And thank you so much. I know it's a completely different time zone. Thank you so much for joining us. And it's an absolute pleasure to have you with us.